Hey y'all, Johnny Glock again. Talk about same-day service. Earlier I showed you a gun, RF1, with SSVI trigger in it, which was titanium. Well, I'm basically shooting these videos real time today. I swear to God, in between Instagram, Facebook, I don't even have Twitter or some of the other ones, PayPal, customer service. All I'm gonna do is make triggers. But anyway, it's by the time I'm done with all that stuff, I could have built a whole gun on a day. So, yeah, SSVI, really cool trigger, man, nice and colorful. A guy named Oscar sent this to me from Texas. Hold it up here. So you saw the lines. I had these on there. The old lines, they're kind of hard to. Actually, let me break it down right now. You know, you guys always see me looking over here because there's a monitor there. But I'm gonna bring the gun. I'm gonna bring it down here so we can see it. What's going on? Get all this stuff out of the way. Anything that could hamper our attention. So, wow, can you believe it? Getting pretty good. So these are the old values. It was started right there. That's where, you know, the trigger was resting. And then there's where we hit the wall. And that's where the shot broke. And so basically we were looking at, you know, at the end of the day, get this out. Right about a ½ inch. You read that upside down. ½ inch. From here to here. And this is starting to fall apart, so get that back on there, my high-tech thing. And it was reduced, and even the brake travel itself was closer to 930 seconds. Let's give it a better value than that, so it's something you can maybe understand. I'll give it a generous quarter of an inch, which is right there. Alright. And now if we look at the blue lines, this is what I actually got it created to be. Right about there. It's 7/64, but if I pop it up one, I'll give it a, and you can see this it's actually shorter than that, but that's an 1/8 right there. Now if I go on the other side of it and really try to bring it right to the lines, and you can still see the blue there, that's 330 seconds. But like I said, I'll open it up a little bit and just to be that guy. So there's an 1/8. So basically 1/8. And it's the same thing. This person, his request was he wanted a very, and I think I've mentioned this, a very mechanical trigger. So this is the take up on this now. As you can see, that's not going anywhere. The trigger safety is intact. If I take up a little bit, you're going to see that first blue line is going to line up with the tip of that trigger. And then when the gun breaks, you see the tip of the trigger is going to line up with the second blue line. And when I reset it, I'm going to reset it slowly. It goes ahead a little bit, just the nature of resetting. Bringing it, so there you go, bring it right back to the wall and break. Reset, bring it back to the wall, and let's see how, let's just gonna feel this pressure. A little bit of movement still to this. Still it's very, like I said, it's, when you're shooting like you're shooting, you know you're gonna be like this. Very mechanical. Clicky, nice clicky reset, nice clicky break. So basically, this is what the customer wanted. I have his notes right here, and that's basically what I do when I, you know, talk to you. I get all this information that I tell you I like to get. I get. Oops, cover that up. So this customer wanted, I'm using the SSVI shoe, no pre-travel, solid defined to purchase, glass rod, 4 to 4.5, very mechanical, and I did all the slide work and stuff to it as well. So yeah, that's basically, wanted to, I turned this around pretty quickly, and it's a titanium, so it's a little harder to work with as far as grinding away some metal and stuff like that, but as you can see, functionally it turned out very, very nice. And to reduce from a 1/2 inch to 1/8 of an inch is, very, very significant in the world of shooting. So let me back this back out. Just a couple things I wanted to say. People, they talk about triggers. They say I have a ghost trigger. That is not a trigger, that's a disconnector. And that's not even a disconnector, it's a connector. I get so used to the words people use. It's a connector. These triggers, like an SSVI trigger or a Precision Overwatch or a GLOCKS or Agency, they're not triggers. They are trigger shoes. There's a big difference. As you can see, and you've seen on my other videos, these trigger shoes standalone can, reduce pre-travel a little bit. They don't do a ton for over travel. I mean, I've seen claims on certain, with certain products, and it's just like, like I said, I don't see it. Maybe their definition of competition ready or, is much different than mine. So I hear these things, and I've worked with all these shoes now, and as you can see, there's a big difference in between what I can do with the shoe. And it's like I said, it's not the shoe's fault, unless someone's coming out saying it does everything, and that's the flat face shoes, basically, like an adjustable aluminum shoe, like a ZevTech or a Pyramid. You can do all kind of stuff with it, and it all depends on what kind of feel you want. I know flat shoes are the rage right now, so basically. But they're fixed and you can only get so much out of them. So that's why people have been sending them to me left and right. I normally didn't take aluminum shoes because, pardon me, you really didn't have a lot of people, shooting with aluminum shoes unless they were shooting ZevTech or Pyramids. And a lot of triggers I do are production, so you really can't have that in your gun. I do a lot of competition guys and a lot of guys that kind of pick their own bag and are used to running GLOCKS. They run a polymer shoe because they know that shoe just runs. It'll outlast the aluminum, and the tolerances are tighter. So, and there's a lot more you can do with it. But everything has its limitations. All these shoes, a lot of these shoes offer is a little stiffer feel. It's kind of cool, but once again, you're limited to the transfer bar. So. Once you even hit that over travel stop, that transfer bar is going to have some bend to it, and that is going to translate into the shoe. Some of our are stouter than others. You don't get much transfer in an Overwatch. You don't get much transfer in an Agency. A lot of those GLOCKS and this SSVI have a little bit more transfer just because of the nature of the way they're done. But if you don't have that set screw right behind the trigger bar, you're not going to get that dead feel anyway, dead end stop. You will have a little bit of flex, just like the flex in a polymer shoe, but a lot of people count that in as they're shooting for something. So that's the one thing I wanted to point out. Number two, I see these in like every single gun that I'm getting. It's these 6-pound springs in the trigger housing. You've heard me say this before. I know it's a recipe. Everyone's been following this recipe for a long time. But these 6-pound springs should not be in your guns. They stall reset. I know they might give you maybe 2 ounces less on your trigger pull, and that is just not worth the penalty of the slower, not aggressive reset. And in Gen 4s, I've seen major problems with them beyond that sort of thing. So if you have a 6-pound, just get rid of it and start to feel into your reset. It's gonna be pretty different if you put a stock one back in there. So that's about it. I'm kind of maxed out on social media today. I just want to go back to my little bench here and get some work done. But nonetheless, I wanted to show you how I was able to turn that SSVI trigger around, and only within a couple hours. I'm going to shoot this over to Oscar. Man, I love this Glock. It's nice. Did Tony's Glock too. It was up there. with the Jaegerworks slide. Nice work. I've been seeing a lot of nice work coming through here with different barrels and slide work, and it's, you know, it's all cool. They're Glocks, man. Do what you want. The world's your oyster. But remember, sights and trigger control. Sight picture and trigger control is number one, man. Spend your money where you really should spend it at first. Get that trigger. It doesn't have to be mine. Just get the trigger rocking and rolling, nice, you know, to your specs, and get some good sights on there, and then get all the bling a ding. You know, some of it's vanity, and some of it you know, actually enhances things. Well, I guess it all enhances things, even if it's psychological. So, hey man, to each his own. But anyway, this is Johnny Glock signing off. You guys have a great week, and maybe I'll get another video after I recuperate from this day of social media. All right, take care. We'll see you.